Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the rack card assignment. I'm your host, Randy Marsh, coming to you live from the bunker, and we're going to get started on this rack card, so let's get going. Hopefully you followed my advice and you have opened up this, ooh, that was weird. Opened up your assignment file I gave you. It's a start file that says Hawaii rack card student start file.psd. I've already laid out some grids for you, and there's a layer in there that's turned off. At least it should be. We don't need it right now. I've also given you this sample card right here. No, we're in business. All right, so I give you the sample card. It's the JPEG of the final assignment, so you can kind of follow along. We have a reference, and you can see what we're going to do. All right, so in this just part 2, we're going to just do the background elements. We're not going to focus on anything else. Just lay out the background. So let's get started. Let's go to our project file here, and we need to put in this fancy yellow background here. And I chose it specifically because it's wavy and yellow and fun, and it's kind of about getting out, and it's exciting, and it's Hawaiian-ish. So let's use that. I'm going to file open and go find that file. It'll be in the graphics folder I gave you. And it's called Colorful Background 9. Let's use that. And there it is. It's a little bit large. I'm going to drag it off here. Let's make sure we're working in tabs like this so we can see all of our files that are open. I'm going to minimize that one for now. There we go. All right, so we have this open, and it's kind of weird. And before we get any further, let's look at our assignment file real quick. It is a 4 by 9 by 300, and I don't know why I built this at 300. More than likely this would get printed at 150 because it's such a tiny little deal, but we'll go with it for now. So 4 by 9, not a lot of real estate to work in, by the way, and we're going to violate the rule of thirds like crazy, but that's okay. All right, so back to this guy right here. We need to put this in. Now there's a couple ways we could do it. I could hold down my shift key and drag the layer across if I wanted to. But since we need the whole thing, let's just cut and paste it. So go into this document, and I'm going to select all. I can either hit Command or Control A, and that'll select it, or deselect. Or I can go to Select up here and hit All. It's still Command A. It's going to do the exact same thing. And you see the marching ants around it. That means we have that whole thing selected. And I'm just going to hit Command C, Control C if you're in Windows, and copy it to my clipboard, and then go to my working project over here and hit Command V or Control V and paste it in there. We've never done that before in class, but just as simple. I'm going to close this. I don't need this anymore. In fact, when we're done with stuff, let's get in the habit of just closing it out and not cluttering up our desktop. So I'm going to close that guy. And now we have our wavy deal over here, and it doesn't fit our card, obviously, but we're going to transform it, so let's do that. And we do that with the free transform command. Free transform is also in edit. It's right there, free transform. Or, like we've been doing in class, Command T or Control T. Real quick, you're going to see my mouse clicks in red right there, so you know where my mouse is always. And you're going to see my keystrokes at the bottom here, just as a heads up, in case you need to know. And you can always stop whenever you need to and pause or whatever. So we're in free transform mode, and we're going to grab these little dots right here, and we're just going to size up till it fits up our canvas. And I'm just going to grab the center one and drag up a little bit, and I'm going to grab this bottom center one and drag down a little bit. And I'm not worried about constraining it too much. It's going to be, because we're destroying these pixels anyway, so it really doesn't matter. And there you go. That's not too bad. Let's just go with that. Free transform, and then I'm going to hit return key and commit to that. And there's my return command. All right, let's get in the habit of naming our layers while we're at it. It just says layer 1 right now. Let's double click that name and name it plate, because it is the background plate. Everything sits on your plate. Getting a drink. All right, now we need to, if we look at our card again, our sample card, we have these little waves. Now I couldn't find those waves. I don't even remember where I got those waves. So I gave you a different set of waves. So let's open up those files and look for them again. and I believe it's called Vector Set Illustration. I thought I just called it Waves. I'll rename it if I didn't. Let's open up this guy right here is what we're looking for. And there he is. Again, I'm going to tear off this tab so I can see both projects. Get that over there. Okay, so here's a set of waves, or a nice set of vector waves, and these will be fun. In fact, I think if you look at the old ones, you'll see they're a lot more fun than those ugly ones were. Anyway, so I decided we're going to use these bottom waves. And they're all on a flattened layer. They're all joined, so we have to spread them all apart. We have to get them on their own layer. And for this, since it's just a solid pale blue background, I think we can use the magic wand tool right there underneath the lasso. And I'm going to click it, magic wand, to make sure I have my magic wand selected. And I am going to click anywhere on this background. Now, before you do that, make sure you have up top the contiguous checked. Make sure you have that radio button checked, okay? And we are going to select now just blue, and it did a pretty decent job. But we don't want the blue. We actually want the opposite of the blue. We want the waves. So we need to invert the selection. You can either do Command-Shift-U, or you can go up to Select and click Inverse right there. Either one will get you there. So when you do it, it doesn't look like anything happened, but it actually did, because now there should be marching ants all the way around your waves. All right. Now let's get those on a separate layer. Command J. We'll put those on a separate layer now. Command J. And there you go. And as you can see, they're on a separate layer right there. And I'm going to turn that thing off because that's annoying. And there they are, nice and separated. All right, now we need to get the bottom one over in our working document. So let's select the lasso tool. That guy right there, and we're going to draw a lasso all the way around this guy right here. Make sure you get all of it, and it'll self-close. And now I got marching ants around my lasso, or around my wave here. And we're going to do what we did before. We're going to copy it to our clipboard and paste it. So Command C for copy, and then if we go over to our document over here, we can hit Command V, and it'll paste it. And now that I don't need this anymore, let's close it. We don't need it. Don't save. I don't care. All right, back to our working document now. As you can see, the waves are a little bit smaller than our document. So let's get those placed and moved around. Free transform again, just like we did before. We're building on that muscle memory. Command T. And I'm going to move them down for starters and get them down here towards the bottom. Well, that's not what I really wanted to do. All right, and then I'm going to scale them up a little bit. Now, please make sure you're holding down your Shift and your Alt key, because if you don't, you're going to get this kind of weirdo thing happening here. So holding down Shift and Alt will constrain it so they scale up equally around the center point. So holding down Shift and Alt, I'm just grabbing a corner here and I'm scaling up a little bit, and I'm going to move this over just a little bit. I don't want to see really any yellow behind the wave. I just want to see the wave itself, and that is pretty good. That looks pretty good right there. Let's keep that nice. All right, looking pretty good. As you can see, like I said, this thing's 4 inches wide, so we're really going to be splitting this thing right down the middle. And rule of thirds isn't going to apply too much here. It's going to be a bit of a hodgepodge because the canvas is so weird. All right, that is part 2. Really simple, just laid it in our background. Oh, before we do that, let's name that layer Waves, so we know exactly. So we're doing good layer habits right there, waves. Okay, looks good. Let's pause right here, go get a drink, and when you come back, we are going to start building these circles so we can lay pictures inside of them. So take a break and come back to part 3.